This season is not always merry and bright for people who are struggling with grief. Therapist Dr. Jonathan Carroll is here with another good word. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Well, you seem sadness is amplified when everybody else is all cheery.
Yeah, the holidays are a particularly challenging time for people who are grieving any kind of loss, and we don't need to put too fine a point on that. But loss is loss, and loss brings grief, and grief is hard. It's natural, it's normal, it's very human. It is not a mental illness. It is something that all of us experience, but it is challenging, and it's particularly difficult during the holidays.
So when we are going through this grief and everybody else is, singing their carols, my guess would be that you would want to push that away from yourself or maybe be in denial about the grief. What are some of the things people tell you when you are dealing with them?
A lot of times people do talk about wanting to just isolate. They say they want to go to sleep and wake up on January 2nd. They want to just ignore, neglect, get rid of, and avoid all of it. And honestly, I don't blame them one tiny bit. I think it is hard, and we do tend to shy away from difficult things. But this is particularly the most difficult thing. And we don't know exactly what another person's experience is like, even though we have our own experiences that might even seem identical at the surface of theirs. No one person knows what another person is feeling. So I understand the need and desire and drive to ignore or avoid the holidays, but it's just not only not a realistic thing, but it's not the healthiest thing. And there are some things that people can do to help themselves not just get through it, but maybe even make something of the holidays.
What do you suggest for folks who are struggling?
First things first, I think people need to be honest about how they feel. Every year on December 21st, which is the longest night of the year, the winter solstice, I host a service at Haley McGinnis Funeral Home in Owensboro for people who are struggling during the holidays. It's called the Longest Night, a service of remembrance and wholeness. And in that service, we are honest about pain and loss, while in other places, Christmas carols and festivities are going on. It's a way of saying we're not going to ignore the reality that this is a hard time. We have to acknowledge it, recognize our feelings, avoid trying to minimize or dismiss emotions. And in that service, we we do that purposefully and intentionally. And I want to invite not only people, everyone can come to that service, of course, but I want to invite people to do that in their own homes, in their own lives, in their own close relationships, to recognize and acknowledge that this is just a hard time, to not try to minimize that, to not try to protect or preserve someone else's joy or good tidings, but just to acknowledge this is a hard time for me. Communicate about that. And then try to remember loved ones through traditions and through rituals, through practices. Maybe there's a place set at the table where there's a chair and it's empty. It might seem morose to some, but that can be very meaningful. Maybe lighting a candle in memory of someone who is not with you this year. Maybe having a photograph of someone on the mantle or near where the family is gathering. Don't hesitate to talk about someone. And if you're not the person grieving, but you're with someone who's grieving, I encourage you, name that person. It's not going to upset them that you've brought that person up because they're already thinking about their loss. It really means a lot to someone grieving when another person says the name of the one who has died and remembers them fondly. It brings so much joy and actually brings so much relief. There are so many other ways, but just for brevity, try to honor the feelings, communicate about them, be mindful of practicing traditions that are inclusive of your loss. And if you're not the one grieving, name the person who has been lost. That was such a beautiful and lovely service to those who are grieving.
Jonathan, thank you so much for those words of comfort.
Thank you, Eugene.